fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty "Hi-Yo Silver!" The Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. The stories of his strength and courage, his daring and resourcefulness have come down to us through the generations. And nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver. Let's go, big fellow. Hi-Yo Silver! Hi!
The town of Sleepy Gap was roused from its usual calm every week on Saturday when cowboys from the nearby ranches rode into the community. The cowboys called Saturday their party night. They came to Sleepy Gap to play. They came to dance, to drink, and gamble, as long as their cash and credit held out. The center of activity was the Sleepy Gap Cafe.
Use your partners to your side or your head is circle wide.
A tall Indian and a boy of 14 watched the fun through the open door. No one suspected that these were the associates of the almost legendary character who was known as the Lone Ranger.
Do we have time to stay here and watch for a little while, Tonto?
Oh, we got plenty time, Dan.
I thought we were to meet the Lone Ranger in camp.
Meet him tomorrow, not tonight.
Oh, golly, that's great.
I sure agree with you, son.
Huh?
I heard you say it's great.
Oh.
A few months ago, I'd have said it was a shameful waste of time and money to make the welkin ring like that. But I've changed my mind. It's great. It's great to be amongst friends. Oh, my name's Gideon Parker.
Glad to know you, Mr. Parker. I'm Dan Radin. This is Tonto.
Oh,
How?
mighty pleased to meet both of you. You going inside?
I don't think so.
Well, if it's a case of money, I'll be glad to stand the cost.
Oh, no, Mr. Parker, it isn't that. It's...
Well, sir, I am. I've got so all-fired lonesome for people, I'm getting addled.
How's that?
Well, I've got a sheep ranch up north of here. Ain't no one to talk to but a lot of broad-backed sheep.
Were you there alone?
No, got one man working for me. But old Phineas ain't no company at all. One of us has to tend flock all the time. While I sleep, he tends. Then he sleeps while I tend.
Oh.
Well, I'm going inside, son. I sure crave company. Won't you join me?
No, thanks, Mr. Parker. We'd rather watch things from here.
Well, here I go. This is my night for some fun. Yahoo!
Off in the direction and go to help that good
Hey, let's come over, everyone. What's happened?
Look what's just come through the door, Sheriff.
Yeah? Gideon Parker. What's he doing in Sleepy Gap on a Saturday night?
Well, it sure ain't party night for him. Things have stopped cold.
Pardon me, gents. Could you make room at the bar for a man that'll buy you a drink?
All the room you want.
We can buy our own drink.
Give the sheep man plenty of room.
What do you want, Parker? Speak up.
What happened to everyone, barkeep? 1 minute things were lively, and all of a
The
sudden...
party stopped until you buy your drink and get.
Oh. Well, maybe I could buy you a drink, huh?
No, thanks. What do you want?
Well, I'd sort of like to buy someone a drink.
You can buy for me, Gideon.
What? Sheriff, how are you? Set him up, barkeep. Give the sheriff what he wants, and I'll take the same.
Give me the usual, Joe.
I don't get to town very
Now
often.
listen to me, Gideon. I'll give you some straight facts.
Yeah?
This is cattle country. Cattle don't like sheep.
But my flock is kept on open range. It's free.
I know. Even so, you're lucky you haven't been driven off by the cattlemen.
Driven off.
There's been a lot of talk of driving you out, Gideon.
Driving me out.
Shooting your dog, running your sheep over the edge of the ravine, setting fire to your house, and riding you out of this part of the country on a rail with a coat of tar and feathers.
Sheriff, the men wouldn't do that.
Well, it's been done in other parts, Gideon. There's been a number of sheepmen that have had that kind of treatment.
I can't believe it.
Several of the ranchers have wanted to chase you. Hank Gunn has prevented it.
Well, he's the biggest rancher around here.
He talked to the boys. He told them that the North Range was already spoiled for cattle, so there'd be no gain by making you move. You'll be all right as long as you stay where you are.
Well, I have stayed there, Sheriff. I know that cattlemen don't like sheep, but I didn't think they had anything against me personally.
You're a sheepman, Gideon. You'd be more welcome in Sleepy Gap if you was a cutthroat, murdering rustler like Bull Mitchell.
Bull Mitchell, he's wanted for hanging.
That's right.
He's stolen cattle from a lot of ranchers. His gang has made no end of trouble.
I know it. And the cattlemen would pay a pretty penny to get him and his gang. But I lay 10 to 1 they respect him more than they do you. Even if he is a crook, he deals in cattle.
I get so doggone lonesome.
Well, lonesome or not, you'd better stay in your ranch.
All right, Sheriff.
We'll have this drink, and then you'd better go.
I'll pay for the drinks.
I'm sorry, Gideon, but that's the way it is.
Thanks for putting me straight, Sheriff. I guess I'll go along.
Your drink.
Oh, I've changed my mind. I don't want it.
All right, folks. Now we can get on with things. Strike up the music. Choose your party.
The fun was resumed as the sad old man left the cafe. The gay talk and laughter made it safe for 2 men at a corner table to speak without fear of being overheard.
Hey, Scar. Did you see the way they cold-shouldered the sheep rancher?
I got eyes, Red. I seen it.
Bo Mitchell should hear about it.
Quiet. Don't mention that name.
No one can hear us.
Oh, don't take chances. There's too many cattlemen around here. Any one of them would welcome the chance to capture a couple of the boss's gang.
All right.
Why do you think the boss should hear about Gideon's reception?
You know the plan the boss has been talking about, Scar? He's been working up his big scheme for the past 2 weeks.
I know that.
His scheme depends on having Gideon Parker sore at the cattlemen.
Well, he's got that part all planned.
Yeah, but after the treatment Parker got here, it'd be easy to make him boil over. We'd better go tell the boss. He might want to act tonight.
Well, if you think so, Red. Let's get back to the hideout and tell him.
No, wait.
Huh?
Look out the window. Gideon's talking to someone. Now, wait till we see him start for the ranch. Then we'll report to the boss.
Wonder who the old coot's talking to. Looks like a kid.
Yeah, a kid in a redskin. That's the best he can do.
I've got a pretty comfortable place and some books I brought from the East.
Tonto, is there any reason why we can't ride up and spend the night at Mr. Parker's ranch?
I sure like company.
Well, we got to meet friend, Dan.
But you weren't planning to ride out on the trail to meet him. You said we'd wait until tomorrow and meet him in camp.
Well...
I got some picture books, too.
Come on, Tonto.
All right, we go.
Good, let's get started.
Bull Mitchell and his gang were hidden in a canyon not far from the rangeland that Gideon Parker's sheep had made unfit for cattle. Bull sat beneath an overhanging ledge, listening to Red's report.
So me and Scar waited till the old man started home. Then we came here.
After that sort of treatment,
Parker ought to be pretty sore at the cattleman.
Yeah, that's what we figured, Bull.
It fits right into my plans.
That's what I told Scar.
Well, I don't know all of the plans yet, Bull.
I'll give you the details later when I got more time.
Oh, all right.
Hey, Red, do you think Parker's home by this time?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Then you two can get started. Go over to his place and hog-tie the old galoot that's watching the sheep. Make him think you're cattlemen. Shoot the dog if you have to. Then drill a few sheep. Just about then, I'll ride up and chase you away. And leave the rest to me.
I tell you, Dan, you and Tonto don't know how glad I am that you rode out here to my place. Sure appreciate your coming.
Golly, Mr. Parker, we're glad to be here.
I never knew that everyone was so set against me.
It isn't you, Mr. Parker.
I'm a sheep man, son. Because of that, I'm hated. Why, do you know what the sheriff said?
No, sir.
He said there'd been talk of riding me on a rail, coating me with tar and feathers.
Golly.
He said that I was even more unpopular than Bull Mitchell.
Bull Mitchell?
You've heard of him?
Yes, he's
him, cattle thief.
Most every ranch in the county has suffered on account of Bull Mitchell's gang. He'd be shot on sight. Yet he's better than I am.
Wait.
What was that?
That gunshot.
What does it mean?
I'll open the door. Wait. There's trouble in the flock.
I saw the flashes of those guns.
Someone killed sheep.
Why, that's Phineas.
We go see what's wrong.
You'd better keep out of this, Dan.
I'm going with you. Steady, Victor, steady, boy.
Get him on the scout.
Get along, Victor.
In the distance, two men on horses could be seen as they fired on the badly frightened sheep. Tonto rode hard, closely followed by Dan and Gideon. Before he could reach the scene, the gunmen were routed by a single rider. Old Phineas lay near the campfire.
Hey, get me out of this. Untie these ropes.
He got knife. He cut ropes.
Phineas, what happened?
Any ornery sneaking cattlemen.
Cattlemen?
Yeah, 2 of them. They come here and jumped me. Shot the dog, and I don't know how many sheep.
You free now.
Thanks.
How do you know they were cattlemen, Phineas?
They said so. They said that tonight was just a warning to you to get out of this country. Next time, they'd make it a lot worse.
Oh, golly.
I don't know how many sheep they'd have drilled if someone hadn't come by and chased them away.
We saw someone run them off. Who was it?
I don't know. Couldn't see his face. He rode a dark horse.
Someone's coming this way now. Is that the man?
Moon ain't none too bright. Can't tell yet.
Ornery polecats?
That's the one. That's the man that chased those gunslingers.
Hold there. Hold on.
Are you the gent that chased those gunmen?
Yeah, reckon so. Figured I'd better come back and see if the old man was hurt.
I'm all right.
Who owns this outfit?
I do. I'm Gideon Parker.
Yeah, I see. Looks like the cattlemen aimed to run you out.
Oh, how I'd like to make them pay for this. They know they've got me. But what can one man do?
I've got a lot to settle with those cattlemen, too. Maybe you've heard them lie about me. My name's Bull Mitchell.
Glad. Great day.
Bull Mitchell?
I know a few things about certain cattlemen. They don't want me to tell what I know, so they're gunning for me.
But you're...
Oh, I can imagine the stories you've heard, Parker. They've made me out a pretty bad hombre.
And you're not?
I may have borrowed a couple of steers, but I never fell so low that I'd kill sheep like those critters. Look here, Parker. Can you count on these friends to fight with you?
Well, I wouldn't ask them to.
I've got some men you can count on. Are you ready to hire some help?
You men gunmen?
You've got to fight to stay here or be driven out, Parker. The cattlemen started it.
Mr. Parker, you can't hire Bull Mitchell's gang.
Who are you, kid? Are you going to sling lead to help Parker?
Hey, them ornery polecats started it, Gideon. If they want a range war, by thunder, let's give it to them.
But you can't
Dan, you and Tonto better clear out. I don't see anything for me to do except to tie up with Bull Mitchell.
Good. We'll both get square. Those critters ask for trouble, and we'll give it to them.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now, to continue our story. A solitary horseman rode across the plains by moonlight. It was the Lone Ranger, traveling at an easy lope toward a campsite near the town of Sleepy Gap. He tensed as he saw two figures coming toward him. A moment later, he recognized Dan Reed and Tonto.
Oh, Silver. Oh, boy. Easy. Steady, big fella. You're riding hard, Silver. Something's happened in Sleepy Gap.
Oh, boy. Easy, fella. Oh, golly, I'm glad we met you.
Did you come from Sleepy Gap, Dan?
No.
We come from Sheep Ranch, north of town.
You were going to Sleepy Gap because you'd heard that Bull Mitchell was in that vicinity.
What about it, Dan?
We saw Bull Mitchell a little while ago. We talked to him. Tonto thought we'd better ride out to meet you instead of meeting you in camp as we'd planned.
Where did you see Mitchell?
Gideon Parker's sheep ranch. We were talking...
Wait, Dan, wait. Maybe better start at beginning.
Yes, that's right, Tonto. What were you doing at the Parker Ranch?
Well, we met Gideon Parker in town. We were standing outside of the cafe.
As briefly as possible, Dan Reed told about Gideon's treatment in the cafe.
The poor old fella seemed to need someone to talk to, so we rode home with him. We'd been at his house for about half an hour when we heard a shot. And after Bull Mitchell rode away, we tried to persuade Gideon to change his mind.
It's no use. Him plenty mad at cattlemen.
So he made a deal with the Bull Mitchell gang.
That's right.
I see.
Parker's got to fight the cattlemen or be driven out.
I doubt it. I'm going to call on Gideon Parker. I'll meet you two later. Adios.
So long.
Come on, Silver.
Well, what's the idea of busting in here just after I get to sleep?
You don't change your plans, Parker. You're likely to have eternal sleep. Now, listen to me. Henry Garner's the biggest rancher in this part of the country.
What of it?
He's the leader of the cattlemen. None of them would move against you without Garner's approval. And Garner would never approve of an attack like the one that was made on your sheep.
I know what's thought of me. I saw how they all acted.
I don't think the cattlemen had anything to do with that attack.
Phineas heard what they said.
I think Mitchell's men staged it.
Why'd they do it?
Because Bull Mitchell wants a fight between you and the cattlemen.
There'll be a fight. Be a plenty of fight.
Parker, will you listen to me for a minute or two?
I don't know who you are. You needn't think you can come here masked
Please listen. Bull Mitchell is one of the worst outlaws in this part of the country. He knows this region and the Badlands to the west better than any man alive. He can hide out indefinitely and laugh at the efforts to find him.
What about it?
He doesn't want to stay in hiding. He wants to come to the open and spend the money he's accumulated. He can't do this while certain men are alive.
Why?
Mitchell is guilty of a score of crimes, but there are only 3 or 4 men, cattlemen, who can testify against him. Now, if he can get rid of these men, the law can never convict him. So he wants a range war. He wants you to be the one who's responsible for the murders he's planning. That's why he's willing to help you. Can't you see that?
I can see the way I was treated by the cattlemen when I went to Sleepy Gap. I can see the way those sneaking polecats come and killed my dog and sheep.
Mitchell must have given you a very convincing talk.
I know where I stand. And I don't aim to go on like this. I can't go on. Living without friends. Being treated like I was poison. There's got to be a showdown.
Yes, Gideon, perhaps you're right.
There
must be a showdown. You and Mitchell planned it for tomorrow night, didn't you? You'll have your showdown, Parker.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by that?
Meet again.
But wait! Doggone, I want to know what he meant. Hey, you!
Come on, Silver!
The Lone Ranger rode south from Gideon Parker's house. Halfway to town, he turned from the trail and went into a small woods where Dan and Tonto had made camp.
Oh, Silver. Oh, steady, big fella.
How'd you make out?
Dan, you told me that Mitchell's men would meet Parker tomorrow night.
Well, I meant tonight. It's after midnight now.
That's what I mean.
And that's what Bull Mitchell say. Him say, fight cattlemen on night after party. All feller plenty tired then.
The Saturday night parties in Sleepy Gap last until almost morning.
Parker's determined to go through with his plans.
Oh, golly.
Not bad.
Then there will be a range war. Isn't there something we can do?
Yes, I think there is. Saddle up. We'll see if that party is still going on.
Yeah, been a pretty good party, Sheriff?
Yeah, I suppose so, Garner, but I ain't had much enjoyment.
Yeah, how's that? Been too busy watching for someone that might be in Bull Mitchell's gang?
No, 'tain't that. Said concerned old sheepman.
Oh.
I can't forget the look in his face when I gave him the cold facts about how he stood.
Yeah, it's his own fault. He don't have to raise sheep. Could deal in cattle. Or he could get a job here in town. There's other things he could do.
I know. But all the same, I'm sorry for the old galoot. Hey, when did those two come back?
Who?
Those two at the corner table. The redhead and the scar-faced hombre. Wonder how long they've been back.
I saw them around when the music first started. They didn't stay long. Take a good look, Scar. That's Garner talking to the sheriff.
I see him.
That's one of the gents the boss has marked.
Well, being as this is his last party, he'd better make the most of it, huh?
Hey, Scar, look out the window.
Huh?
Look who's at the hitch rail.
The boy that was with Parker.
Yeah, he's coming in here.
I wonder where the Indian is.
I don't know.
Right over there.
You looking for me, son?
Yes. You come with me right away.
What's up?
You've got to arrest Gideon Parker.
Parker? What's he done?
You've got to arrest him for murder.
The sheriff on one side and a deputy on the other asked Dan countless questions as the three rode toward Gideon Parker's ranch. Dan gave little information.
You'll just have to wait and see.
But you can at least tell me who was killed.
I can't tell you anything, Sheriff.
If you brought us in a wild goose chase,
I haven't.
Hey, when you left town a few hours ago with Parker, there was an Indian with you.
Yes.
Did Gideon kill the redskin?
No, he didn't.
Well, who did he kill?
I can't tell you anymore.
Anymore? You ain't told us anything.
I told you you'd have to come and arrest Gideon Parker for murder.
Well, who's the corpse?
Sheriff, look ahead.
Who are those two?
One of them is the Indian who was with me earlier.
Great day. Is that a mask the other one's wearing?
Rein up and get your gun handy. Ho there. Ho. Steady there, mister. You're covered.
You don't need a gun, Sheriff.
What sort of a trick is this? Are you one of Mitchell's men?
No. Sheriff, you've got to take Gideon Parker to jail.
The boy here told me that. Who'd he kill?
No one.
What? No one?
Despite that, you've got to arrest him.
This boy said I was to arrest him for murder.
Well, I hope he said it loudly enough so everyone in the cafe could hear him.
He did.
Maybe the news will reach Bull Mitchell.
What do you know about Mitchell?
Sheriff, put your gun away. I'll tell you all I know.
For several minutes, the Lone Ranger spoke rapidly in a low voice. The stern look on the sheriff's face relaxed. Then he wore a trace of a grin. When the masked man finished, the lawman said,
I like your style and I like your plan. We'll take Parker out of circulation right away. Get up there. Get him up. Get out.
Well, he doesn't lock his door.
Lead the way. We're with you.
Where's his sleeping room?
This way.
What the Sam Hill's going on in here? Can't a man get no sleep at all?
Remember me, Gideon?
I can't see, but I remember that voice.
You wanted a showdown.
This is part of it, Gideon.
Who is
It's the law.
The law. What?
Get your boots on, Gideon. We're taking you to Sleepy Gap.
Like fun you are.
You want to go with your boots on or just as you are?
I know what's up. Want to take me in so's a cattleman can make more trouble for me. Well, I won't go. I won't move an inch, and you can't make me.
All right, Gideon. We discussed that when we got to town.
Boy, let me down. Put me down, I tell you.
Come on, Sheriff. I have him.
You can't do this to me. Put me down.
It was daybreak when Red and Scar rode into Bull Mitchell's camp with news that brought the outlaw to his feet.
You mean to say that Gideon Parker's in jail?
That's right, boss.
They've got a charge of murder against him.
Who'd he kill?
We don't know for sure, but we figured it's that Indian that was with him.
That confounded old fool. He spoiled all my plans.
Well, I don't see why, boss. Can't we go after those ranchers without Parker?
No. If Garner and the others are killed while Parker's in jail, I'll be the one that's suspected. I'll be the only one with a motive. I wanted to stay out of sight and let Parker be seen by witnesses. That'd put me in the clear.
What about the rest of us? The ones that are with Parker?
Don't worry, I said you'd be taken care of.
Maybe they'll let the old man go.
Can't wait. We've got to hit tonight. Everyone will be worn out from last night's party. There won't be none to alert.
Well, what's the plan?
Scar, that jail and Sleepy Gap don't amount to much. We can break Gideon out. Call all the boys together and we'll make our plans.
That evening, as darkness settled over Sleepy Gap, a number of stealthy figures moved silently into town.
There ain't a light in the whole darn town.
Hardly ever is, except on party night.
This ought to be a pushover, boys.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get Parker out of the jail without waking anyone.
That's what I want, if we can do it.
See any guards?
Not yet.
There may be a guard on the other side.
If there is, the rest of the boys will take care of them. Now stop right here.
Have you got the iron bar?
Yeah,
Can you work without a light, Bull?
the moonlight's enough. I'll have this door busted open in a second. Hey, what the...
Get him up or we'll cut you down. Close in, boys.
The law! We're trapped. Shoot your way out. No, don't.
Want any more gunplay?
I quit.
Take the boys. Take all of them. This fella, Bull Mitchell.
You. I thought you were dead.
Yeah, you thought I killed him.
Parker.
Bull Mitchell in person, huh? Well, we waited a long time for you.
Oh, Mitchell?
Garner.
We're all on hand, Mitchell. Couldn't find you, so that masked man brought you to us.
Garner, you can thank Gideon Parker for this capture.
Ha, what a roundup. The whole Mitchell gang. Gideon, we cattlemen owe you a lot.
You what?
Gideon, I reckon you've made yourself a score.
But well, the masked man made me come to town so as I couldn't start a war.
You started one, Gideon. You started a war on the Mitchell gang.
We'll be downright proud if you come around on Saturday, Gideon.
Yeah, and we'll make a public presentation of the reward
What?
money.
Oh, cracky. You mean you want me here on party night? Well, he done it for me. The masked man done it. He kept me from being an outlaw. He got me an invite to party night. Say, who is that masked man?
Well, Gideon, I'll tell you. He's known as the Lone Ranger.
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.